Let's do more 999. Maybe finish it. We have 3.5 hours in the saga. I was a bit late. Where were we? Put the books in here. Small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look like music stands. Which I put in these picture books on the stands. And then, a little weird. I'm very bright though. And a really powerful light bulb in earlier. Why don't you try putting in one of the bulbs or lights or it'll get a lot brighter, but 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. Won't be much point unless you replace all 3 bulbs. Okay. Bookshelf is a sort of glass inlay. Pretty big, but there's only 6 books on it. It seems kind of weird. Looks like there's something on the bottom. Really can't see it though, the glass is all foggy. Oh, have we found anything? I don't remember, it's been a little bit. We should get these. Did not say no. Please just give us the answer too. Four point five? What? Is that not a 6? Did a Junpei, yay. Why would there be 2 6 books, right? I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. It's the lock's open now. See if we can get the open alright. Bulb in here, I'm guessing? Look at that, there's a bulb in here. All 6 books need to be pointing at the cylinder number lock. And the last is this, right? So. Dadkind on it. You know the book with the Labyrinth written on it. Owen. And Shielddrake. It's bottom of the book. With the volume number written on the lower part of the spine. Can we do anything with this? Or is it just kind of like low forehead? Low forehead, gotcha. So I couldn't interact with them in any way, shape, or form unless I can like drag them? No. Lights to the books, yes. Pretty impressive, almost looks like the doors of the shrine or a church or something. Another door after it, and there's a passageway beyond that. And in that passageway is the door with the Neptune symbol engraved on it. Hurry up, we need to find the key to get marked the Neptune. Okay, this sounds like a job for the best brother and sister team in the world. I said when I do anything like this. What am I doing? Handrails made out of metal. Iron plates bolted. I don't think this is a door, I think it's just a wall. I'm missing something with you. I don't know what I can interact with you. We've read every bookshelf. We went through all of these last time before I stopped. I'm not seeing anything. You can first see the letters. The organ here to really tell. Probably means our light isn't bright enough. The shield? BAK? Shield rake. What it says. So this is after you get the last light bulb then. Okay. What I thought. So somewhere there's something else we can interact with, and I have no idea where. Because a lot of this stuff is just filler. Alright, well, we'll make our way back through this. Just do this one. Already done. What's that? Some sort of comic book? Jeez, I guess boys really like that stuff. No, you're thinking about a different sort of robot. I was talking about automated machinery that's used to build things like cars. I just missed that one? Communication and computer science, huh? Pretty generic title. To be honest, it's so vague I don't even really know what I might be about. Overview of photochemistry? I think whoever set this up wanted us to see the cover, not the spine. We got it, okay. There it is, okay. It's hidden behind a book that I thought I got. What the heck, man? Wasn't gonna, but now that you bring it up. Change the bulbs, now they should. Sheldrake 5, okay. Something protecting on the bottom. Letters, they seem familiar. Line number written on the lower part of the spine. Sorry, I'll go examine the center floor first.
Sheldrake 5?
I think I saw the rest of his collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Sheldrake.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory. Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did?
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
You did? Why?
Well...
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
Tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Ugh. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move
Oh, we're
to the
on
top
an
floor.
advance. Sorry. Or adventure. Jinpei nodded. With that, they climbed the stairs to the top floor. Ray hits me over the head with the coat rack. Snake, you son of a gun! Snake was silent for a moment after they arrived, and finally crossed his arms and spoke. As I hydrate.
I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
Snake reached into his sleeve and pulled out a small, stiff piece of paper.
That's a Braille card. It looks just like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards.
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nonary game on it.
Bro, we just didn't read them all.
Yes, it did.
Nah, you can
And
read it.
those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. It's a threat on our lives.
Oh. Well,
Snake nodded.
Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
Snake glanced down at Clover instead of examining one of the bookshelves.
That's very true.
Like
I've
toddlers.
decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why?
Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us. No matter what the situation was.
Snake paused and cocked his head as though he was listening to something very far away. His face looked dark, as though something was weighing on him.
Hey, Snake?
Junpei wasn't quite sure what to say. Snake turned around and looked at him.
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada. And the girl that died during the experiment. She told you all that, did she?
Snake looked down. His face was tight. A slight tremor struck his body and tried to hide it. He was putting on a good front, but even Junpei could tell that he was holding back holding back something deep and powerful. He made it as if to brush something from his face. Look up at
At
Junpei.
any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
is who did this and why, right?
yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes.
Snake nodded
The
slowly.
people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Been there?
There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido.
Bro, I nailed those names. 100%.
Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division.
Is that the 9th man?
Musashido was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
Huh, so it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido.
Junpei couldn't shake the sense that he heard those names, 4 names
Of
somewhere
course,
before.
more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonori Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field.
Huh.
Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produce the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
That's right.
Snake
I
nodded.
still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Could you imagine someone doing a handstand? That's insane.
No way.
I'm not done.
No way someone could do a handstand.
Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
Junpei thought about it for a moment.
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Close enough, at least.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonori Project began.
Snake suddenly looked very serious.
By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
I have. From Lotus, I think. Junpei cleared his throat and tried to
it's
act
an
calm.
experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
Interesting. I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct.
So, why did you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonori Project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped.
His face barely moved as he spoke.
There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total. For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany. The other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. That's where Hongo came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sunk. By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic in Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of Epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
Huh.
Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses? Get down here already!
He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you.
Hmm?
Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you?
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children.
Okay, I'm back. 2 that
However,
weren't
they
kidnapped.
had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing.
Snake and his
They
sister.
were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi. The sister's name was... Her name was...
Snake didn't seem to bring himself to continue. Looked as if he was about to say something. Or what was he about to say brought him
Her name
great
was
pain.
Akane. That was the girl who... died.
Jimmy felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. Vision went blurry and his head felt light.
Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago? Then, who is June? No. That's impossible. It can't be true. Akane isn't that uncommon of a name. If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely. So they share a name. A lot of other people do too. It doesn't mean anything. It was someone else. Of course it was. It has to be.
Jimmy shook his head hard and pulled himself back to reality.
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
Snake had noticed. Jimmy cleared his throat and tried to act calm.
No, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, all right?
Snake raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. He headed down the stairs. Junpei bring up the rear.
I can do it. Why didn't I ask? What's her last name? I just couldn't get the words to come out.
Every step he took, the cold, hard sound of feet against metal dug into at his heart. Took you that long to find this, but didn't it say 5 at the end of the shadow in the picture? I think we need to find the 5th volume. Look at that, there's a big red button behind the book. We should press the button. What was that sound? Sounded like something really big was moving. Came from the top floor. Alright, let's go check it out. "13, 14, 10, 13. Now put in monitor. I bet the letters you type in the keyboard will show up here. Bet you've got to type something on that keyboard, but you can only enter letters. Looks like you only got 4 letters. Let's see how it works. Guess you need to hit enter once you type in the letters. And you can erase or clear. Okay, I got it. The basic operations. Give it a shot. For what? 13, 14, 10, 13. Oh. Yeah, you did it, Junpei. It unlocked now. Good job, Junpei. Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? Makes me think whatever's waiting for us isn't good. So what? Jeez, you're just an old lady. We can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on, we got it unlocked. We got it to unlock, didn't we? Let's go, hurry up. Alright, let's get this thing open. Yo, did it. Yo. door open, and Junpei and the others let them
All
through
right,
it.
this is the next.
As the seven was about to finish the sentence, attention was drawn to the clang of metal and metal ringing out behind them.
Ah, the door!
Spun around, the door they just come through had slammed shut.
Did that just close on its own?
Don't tell me we can't go back.
I don't know. Let's see.
Junpei grabbed hold of it with both hands and pulled it with all the strength. What happened to you putting screwdrivers in every single door you go through, Snake?
Damn it. It looks like it locks automatically.
Is there any other way out?
Well, there's another door over on the right. There's a card reader next to it. It's got a red light on it, though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked, too.
But there is a card reader, right?
Yeah.
Then perhaps if we find a key card, we could open the door and leave?
Well, yeah, that might work, but...
Hey! Wait a minute. Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Oh man.
Good thing you got kid eyes there, Clover. I don't have to do a thing. My adult eyes can't see a thing. Filled with piles and upon piles of all manner of things. Only word that could describe it was chaotic. It was like a tornado had passed through, followed by a giant who had picked up and shaken the entire room a few times.
Looks that way.
Junpei's heart fell.
No way!
For real?
Clover and Seven looked as though they were about to cry.
Well, we can sit down and wait to die, if that's what you prefer. I rather doubt that, however, so it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without
Neptune.
it. All right then, let's begin.
Frick. It's not what I was ready for. Back to back. You hate me. This is in reverse, but they kept going into California. Nautical table? I feel like I've seen this one before. Rest on here looks like Elvis's face. Yeah, how exciting. Fans are for ventilation. Probably the cold circulate the air. All computer monitors on this desk. You don't see CRT monitors that much anymore. Piles of crap everywhere, and this place is a mess. So messy I don't know where to start. Some of this crap looks familiar. A lot of these parts are for the puzzles we've solved in other rooms. Is that true? Then, the room could be Zero's laboratory. Perhaps Zero would shut himself in this room and devise the mechanics, the machines, and puzzles you need to see his plan come true. Partition. Oh, what's his face, isn't it, by the way? Gosh, his desk is like really big and it feels really sturdy. Does seem pretty heavy duty. Suppose it belongs to whoever uses this room, wouldn't you say? You see some sort of big machine on the other side of this, all of this crap. Well, before I make any more movements, pipe right. Is there anything else I can interact with here? No. Skirt. Elvis. Badges, what the frick. Control panel in front of the big screen here. Wouldn't have any of these buttons do anything. What's this? 15 cells here with numbers and letters in them. Do they have to equal 30? Is that what it is? Because the middle one is 1 plus f plus 5 equals 30. 6 plus f plus b, that is, sorry, I had a mini stroke. That's 26. You see that? They have to equal. Well, they have to equal L. I see. Whenever you touch a cell, the ones next to it turn. The ones next to it turn on or off. You gotta use that to make all cells in the right and the bottom green. Junpei, I found this piece of paper under that thing. You want to take a look at it? I think this might have something to do with the puzzle. Piece of paper Clover gave me. A bunch of numbers and letters connected by equal signs on it. Probably related to the puzzle on the screen somehow. This Clover, this really helps. Alright, let's get back and try again. Anyway, looks like I just need to make them all the cells all green. Equals 21? How do you figure that, Chief? But easily. That's how you figure that. There is a certain order to my chaos. Is there though? Told you. You did Junpei. You're so smart. You seem to have done an excellent job and solved the puzzle. That's what I would have expected from you, Junpei. Hey, come on, you're embarrassing me. Whoa, don't get cocky, kid. We don't have time for that. Look at this. Check out the right edge of the control panel. Let's it open. Something came out. Badge. Metal plate shaped like a shield. Cross engraved on it. Yo, it's thinking, Lucy. 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 This paper here. Not sure where that taking a closer look, but I think it might be a clue. We don't need this anymore, do we? No, I don't think so. Puzzle we already solved. Take it anyway, kid. Steel cabinet with its double door. I guess I can throw you in here. Wait, what's Snake doing? Feel symbols engraved just above each indentation. From upper left is the steering wheel symbol. Upper right is the cross symbol. Bottom left is this mysterious circle symbol. Lastly, the waffle pattern is engraved near the bottom right. Additionally, each symbol seems to have been given a number. Steering wheel 2, cross, mysterious circle 3. Okay. We need to insert the emblems in this order. That order, huh? Whoa, well now we got something on the screen at least. Huh? What is this? Oh, wait a minute. I saw something like this when I figured out the Morse code puzzle back in the communications room. Morse code, yeah. The dots in here look like dits for Morse code. 2 dots in the first line, 4 in the second, and 1 in the last. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, perhaps you should give it a shot anyway. Alright, I'll try. Before I do that, though, I ought to run through the instructions. Just hit the button and it will enter a dit. Hold it, it'll enter a da. Automatically determine if it was a correct answer or not. I need to see what it was again. I didn't know I wasn't gonna have a hand button. Don't give it another shot, Junpei. Don't give it another shot, Junpei. 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 Monitor is part of the machine. Really dim though, it's got a map on the world on it, but I can barely see it. Junpei, looks like there's a compass on there. And, oh, now I get it. What do you mean? Yes, you were in there, Clover, but I solved the puzzle with this on the one in the wheelhouse. The same thing here. Same thing. The important part is the nautical table we just found. Match up the directions of the compass with the lines of the nautical table. I used the steering wheel in the wheelhouse, but this time I think I'm gonna have to use a wheel attached to the side here. Show me now. Of course. I don't need to look through the instructions. And I press stop, and the compass is pointing where I want it to. Something will happen if I do it right. Alright, let's do it. Did it, Junpei. Good boy, it was a good boy. Knock it off. We don't have time for screwing around right now. We got the right side of the monitor. We got the wheel one, okay. Big box in the hall by the exit. I think it made a noise. Something unlocking, you know? A noise, huh? Please grab the helm. The monitor's hanging down from the ceiling here. Framed with black and yellow warning stripes. Alright, let's open it. Alice? Holy crap, this is pretty dang creepy. Coffin in here. A coffin, a coffin. Oh man, is it Seven think? Yeah, he's all pale. Thinking the same thing I am. No way. Could this be? Sorry, but what's going on? It's a coffin. Wonder if there's a vampire in it. Right, I guess Clover and Snake don't know about the story. Can't bring myself to tell them. Well, at any rate, let's have a look around. All ice. 2 machines. Gulp. Holy crap. Man, this is serious. Oh well, let's open it, shall we? Over, if you could give me a hand. Okay, I got it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The lock doesn't seem to be ready to open. Yeah, but it's not like it's screwed shut or something. I believe it's locked in some other way. Hey Seven, do you think you could open it with your superhuman strength? No, what's wrong? I think I'll just pass on that one, okay? What the heck? Very well, we'll just have to give up on the coffin for now. Look around the room a little more, shall we? Alice sleeps in a small chamber past a forest of knowledge, beneath the navel of the gigantic. Is that actually true? See you. Something written on this piece of paper. 3 sheets of stuff. Nope. Document says 9. Oh, I did this already. Right? So find the sum of the numbers aligned horizontally and vertically. Now calculate the areas that are colored in. Go from the first one. Morse code chart was found in the steel shelf in the small, cluttered room. Morse code with the letters A to I. Oh, I don't know the word. You want me to type in all eyes? I'll do it. We only have 3 letters to type in though, so. Piles of crap everywhere. This is pretty impressive. Try to search every one of these. Well, we're gonna be at it till the cows come home. Well, that doesn't seem too bad. We don't have to go home and bring them in ourselves. And don't you get smart with me, kid. How about we deal with this area later? Okay, guys, maybe we should try something more promising. The word that's supposed to go in here is 3 letters. 3 lines, I think each line is 1 letter. I see, well, if that's the case, perhaps your letters you need are made up of 2 symbols for the symbols and 1 symbol respectively. What? Isn't that what you just said? 1 line has 2 spaces, the next 4, and the last one is a single space. I see. In other words, I gotta enter those dots and dashes. Is it 2 instead of 4, then just 1? I just didn't remember the password, okay. 2, 4, 1. Thank you for telling me again, Snake. Sorry? If we're doing all ice then, you're just lying to me. Reset. What? A blank T. The first letter can be, I guess that could have been E down there. It can be, it's ice. Okay. I'm trying to do all ice, it's just ice. Solve the puzzle, Junpei. It didn't work. Answer was ice. How did you know? All I had to do was listen to the sounds the machines made. After that, it was trivial matter to decode them. Oh yes, I believe I heard the noise from somewhere on the right-hand side of the device. You solved it when you solved the puzzle. I don't know, rather like something sliding open. See anything that could have made the noise? That's true. Oh yes, one more thing. I heard the sound from behind the shutter. The coffin's unlocked now. What? Oh, Alice. Alright, fine, I'll open it. Okay, Junpei, you can do this. Just a box. Just a box. Oh, holy crap, this is a coffin. There's going to be something horrible in there, I just know it. Deep breaths, here we go. Huh? Ellipses. Ha 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 ha. Oh man, there's nobody in there. Crap, can't believe I was scared of something like that. What do you mean nobody? Were you expecting someone to be in there? It's a long story. Just ask Junpei about it sometime. 6-7 said there's nobody in there. Something in there though? There was something in there though. Well, 2 somethings actually. What is that? Neptune key? Neptune key, yeah, we found it. Now we can go to the hallway. That's correct, Clover, but we do need to get out of this room first, you know. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's get the heck out of here as quickly as possible. Don't have any objections to that. Okay, just take the key, Junpei. Now, before we do more, I'm gonna need something to drink because we've been playing for an hour. Oh, I did get pulled away for like 5 minutes, but I will be right back.